Ladies and gentlemen, here we are to talk the podcast, and we are back for some more basketball action in the Central Florida area, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like and comment, share with all your Hooper friends and family if you haven't already, and join the Atleta Club for a chance to win a free BG 5000 FIBA approved basketball that we're going to give out for the month of April. Um, you can join any club that you'd like, whether it's the fan club, the star club, or the elite club. So make sure you hit that join button. It should be right below this video, and we appreciate you if you do. But if you don't, at least subscribe. Give us something. You know what I mean? So let's get on with it, man. We should have another short day, just like last week. Basketball is starting to slow down. We're looking for more opportunities to increase the exposure out there. So soon we might have some more stuff going on. But for now, basketball is dwindling down just a little bit, just slightly. Um, but the summertime should be jam packed. So let's start with some of the things that happened throughout the last week. Starting with last Sunday, we'll go in order this time around. Last Sunday, we were able to go to FBA versus Celenation, ladies and gentlemen. The FBA hosted Celenation All Stars for two exhibition games, courtesy of the Claremont Crocs, who were able to set that up, got the gym time. I helped them out with the referees and some recording, and you guys can go watch those games as soon as this episode is done, or if you have already, leave a comment, let us know what you thought about those games. But we can talk about the first matchup, um, the Celenation All Stars versus the Crocs, the Claremont Crocs, ladies and gentlemen. I know I would assume I might be the only one that had an opportunity to watch that one, but
I know a decent amount.
oh, there you go,
I was there
perfect,
for halftime.
barely. But the Celenation All Stars, ladies and gentlemen, were able to get themselves a win. Believe it or not, they were able to get a game winner at the end of the game. Crocs were up 80-79, and Josiah, the Southern Nation All Star, who we've known from our time with GM5, and we see him now at the OBL as well. He's able to get himself an All Star bid in Southern Nation, come to the game, and he showed up in great fashion. He hit a three for game to put them up 82-80, and that was the final score. Southern Nation All Stars able to take down the FBA's own Claremont Crocs. What do you guys think about that, man, or anything else that you may have seen about that game?
Uh, first off, I love the interleague exhibition games. I'm here for it. I want you to get the best of your crop. Go against these FBA teams that have players that have been that are associated with their teams. Nick with the Serpents. I forgot the Austin Mills with the Crocs. Like players that are affiliated with these teams and who have these relationship with the players on that team going against these All Star teams. I just want to say I thought that was dope. And second of all, I mean, I think the Crocs kind of slipped towards the end of that game. Josiah did get on a heater. He just didn't make a game winner. He was making a couple threes as the game was going on. He was keeping them alive. So I just want to say that I think the only thing that really kind of played into what happened to the Crocs was size. I think size and then just momentum. The momentum left, and once that momentum left, people couldn't hit shots. I think there was a lot of unwarranted shots that was being made, like Nas says, playing like the end of like you're down 20 when it's 2 minutes left when you're down only 2 points with the hero shots. So it's a lot of hero shots I feel like, and I think the Crocs did a good job defensively, but at the end of the day, I think the All Stars for the Southern Nation were going crazy. We're going crazy.
It's not even just the last 2 minutes. It started in the third quarter when they just
Yeah,
started taking really like ill-advised shots. Like immediately, like coming down the court, you're taking a three. Next possession, I think it was A. Millie gets a turnover. Next possession, it's another missed shot, and then next possession, it's another missed shot. And when you count up the total time of the shot clock that they had used, I don't even think it hit 24 seconds in four possessions.
yeah.
Like it's just it's bad decision making, bro. Watching Jerome Ricks play in any league, bro. That drop step is lethal. It's lethal. No matter where he's going, no matter what he's playing against, it is unguardable. he is he is the Orlando Metropolitan Jokic at this point because he's
Orlando
unstoppable.
Metropolitan. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you.
Metro
I
Jokic
really
is crazy.
He is, bro. The Orlando Metric Jokic. There we go. That's what we're gonna say. Jokic Ricks. I love watching Evan Fair or Aaron. I can't talk. Aaron Fair play, bro. Like he
Yeah, he's
is.
got a good
He
game.
just. He's always just so poised. He's always so great. Usually we see him with Dom, so they're kind of handling the ball together. So he's not really getting as many opportunities. But no, throughout both of these games, because we'll talk about the next one, he was a star in both. He was a stud.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he is ridiculous. And Nick Choi as well, bro. Nick Choi just he looks great in this league. He looks great in a lot of basketball. He's spreading the floor very well, securing a lot of rebounds against a Crocs team that I thought was kind of big inside, but he was still bringing down a ton of boards. I bet if we check,
The
I
Crocs.
don't. I can only see this off the video.
Nah, they
But
have a
Nick does
swing.
not look like he's the tallest
He is.
person in the paint.
Nah, he was. He was. He
100%
was.
is. Yeah. They had none of their
He also
guys.
lost like
None of
he
the
lost
guys
like
that you
40
consider a
pounds.
big man were there.
Yeah, Kevin
Did they
Bullock
have
wasn't there. I think that was a big of identity of theirs. Like not having Kev was a big identity. But
Did
he
they have
lost like
Allen?
40 pounds.
Who?
Nick Choi.
Yeah, did they have Allen?
Allen?
The,
Allen
the
who?
one, the one that we just gave the ball to.
Oh, well. Okay. I wouldn't
Well,
exactly.
he's big.
Yeah, but that's not.
Okay.
He's not a big man. Like he's. You know. I don't want to
Just
say. I don't want to say it. I'm just saying
say
it.
it.
Like
Just say it.
let's not do that today, okay? I'm just saying he's not a big man. Like he's a wing at best. He's just he's gained
Okay.
some weight. You know what I mean? But it doesn't make you a big man.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about his weight. I will say that. I was talking about his height. I thought he was. I'm height inclined. I'm vertically inclined.
He's
so,
a tall. He's
like,
a
I
tall.
can't really tell.
He's a taller fellow. He's probably about 6'4", 6'5".
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, and that's about how tall I think Nick Choi is.
I think Nick Choi's at least 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, I think he's 6'6". I think Nick Choi's a
All right.
solid 6'6".
Okay, I
Yeah.
take everything back I said, but I still keep everything good I said about Nick Choi. Let's keep that then. How about that? Is that fair? Fuck you guys.
No, I think Nick Choi. I think Nick Choi was definitely a big factor in their success. And I mean, it really goes to show how much the Celenation has evolved over the years and how the talent level has increased. You got guys like Aaron Fair, Steve Stacko, Nick Choi. That's a new caliber of talent as they've gone. Christian Sorry was there for the first game, wasn't able to play the second game.
Stuka.
Sean Sukup is, obviously a very poised and consistent player throughout the leagues that he plays in. So they've grown in talent pretty heavily. They've had Tommy Dennis in a year or two. They've had Dom Douglas. I think I want to say Dom might be hurt because he also didn't play for the flight. So I want to say he might be hurt. I haven't actually inquired or asked, but he didn't play for the flight. But he was there on their bench. He was in street
When I went on
clothes.
his Instagram, it does say retired Hooper.
Does it
Whoa.
really?
I saw it the other day. Yes.
What? Okay, we could talk about that too. I don't know. I did not see that. Dom is like 57 years
follow
old, so I
Dom.
fully understand. You know what I mean?
Man, you stop
He got
doing
some-
that to Dom.
He got some bad knees. You know what I mean? No, I'm just saying. Dom is not old at all. He's actually younger than I am. Crazy, but
Crazy.
yeah, he's made that very clear. Um, but yeah, they overall the talent level in Celenation has grown. So shout out to them, man. And they put up a fight. I think Nick Choi is really what I wanted to focus on. Is what I wanted to say really. I think he made a big impact for them, especially just being sized down there to hinder everything. He had some good rim protection there. Not like a lot of blocks on the stat sheet, but a lot of what's the word? What's the word they
Alternating
use?
shots.
Shots.
Yeah, alternating
Solid.
shots, contesting everything. On the
Yeah.
boards, he was very good in the post for them. I think once he can figure out his post game and try to manage, because he's on a weight loss journey. So if he can manage his weight loss while maintaining strength, I think Nick Choi is going to be a very, very interesting player to see going forward. And right now he has a bench role with the Florida Flight. But if Nick Choi continues to progress the way that he is, he might demand more playing time. He might demand a bigger role. And shout out to him for the efforts that he's putting in because
Yeah, he is.
me and Pluto talked about it. He definitely looks a lot slimmer than when I first met Nick Choi, and I met Nick Choi probably 3 to 4 years ago. And
Yeah.
he's definitely lost a lot of weight since then. So shout out to him for what he's been doing on the court and how he's been evolving, being recognized, opportunities in the GM5, Celenation. He did start with Celenation though. so I don't want to make it seem like he's new to Celenation. That's really where he came from in the first place. I'd say that's where Mark probably
Yeah.
found him. But overall, just shout out to him. I wanted to give a quick shout out. He's been a very good player for all the teams that I've been seeing him play on, and I just wanted to take the moment to shout him out there.
Yeah, he put that work in, and that's what he was telling me and Nas. And he's like, I can only work out in the mornings. I mean, we found out Nick has 3 kids. I thought Nick was young as hell. I mean, he is young, but I thought he was living a single bachelor life. But that man's married, got kids, and on top of that, with having 3 kids under 3, he finds a way to lose weight, stay in shape and get his game better. Because his jump shot, like Nas said, it looked a lot better than it did with the GM5. Like he was actually spreading the court, and he looked very, very good. Like
I
I'm
didn't
sorry
even
to
say
say it.
that.
Like, oh my bad, I'll say it.
Yeah,
His
I
jump
thought it was
shot
pretty
looked
good at
decent.
GM5.
Yeah. Nah, it's better now. He kind of reminded me like he had like a little bit of like a Carlos Boozer game, like now, like just very like just consistent with his jump shot. He gets his rebounds. I really like the way he was playing. I think if he has an opportunity to like play with anybody else and he wants more minutes, he should get that opportunity for sure.
He's the first person who ever taught me how to use Golden Corral as an insult. So there's always
Man,
shout out to Nick Choi,
yeah,
bro.
I didn't know that was gonna be insulting the
Yeah,
Golden Corral.
he is always taught me. But yeah, he shot 45% from three at GM5, which
Wow.
high number, low number, whatever. Like he's not known to stretch the floor that deep in the FBA. I could say at least. Like I have seen him, hit the mid range pretty often, I would say. But 3 pointers is kind of where he's always kind of stood inside. And I mean, 45%. That's high. That's a real number,
Yeah, I
I would
agree.
say.
Well, ultimately, the Crocs were not able to really keep the momentum going. I think they missed a lot of pieces. They didn't have Kevin Rulock. They didn't have Nikolic. They didn't have Bernardis. I still not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. But either way, Bernardis. That's what it is. There you go, Bernardis. They were missing a lot of players overall. And a lot of talent on that team, regardless. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think the Crocs have to try and put a lot of emphasis on size as much as possible, because I think that's where they typically tend to struggle. And Kevin Rulock, he's gonna always talk his shit because like he likes to say on the court, he's strong as fuck. You know what I mean? So he obviously gets the job done, and he plays good defense down low. He's very good post defender, I will say that, and typically attributed because even though I joke, he is actually pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, even though I joke about it, but he's not a traditional big man. So like being able to put players in a position where they can succeed is always important, or being able to put players in a position where they're at their best is important. Um, and I think the Crocs definitely need size, and they needed it versus the Celenation because I think the hustle and grind at the end of the game is really where they lost it. The guys just couldn't be physical enough. They just couldn't, players drive and there's no bumps, impeding their stride down to the basket. Ball goes off the rim. There's no physicality on the boxing out. There's no intensity. You can't expect a bunch of guards, to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Because that's just not the game that they're accustomed to playing and that they've been trained to play their entire time. So I think if they had Kevin Rulock, if they have Nikolic and some of their other players that have a little bit more size to them, a little bit more, ruthlessness in the paint, the game could have definitely gone differently for sure.
I could see that. I mean, and any game that you have Kevin in is going to be different. Of course, we could recognize that. And
Yeah.
you also had the added benefit, the reality of not having to play against Christian. Sorry, if Christian's there against you guys, maybe that game's a little different. So when you have your full squad for both sides, we see some changes.
Yeah. He was going to play for the Serpents, though, so he wasn't going to play for them regardless.
I didn't know he's still in the Serpents.
Oh, yeah. Um,
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's a good segue to the next game. The Celenation, agreed to play 2 games back to back on the same night, and they faced off against yet another FBA team, my very own Volusia Serpents. And another exciting game went down to the wire. Everything started off great for the Serpents, for us, and we got to a big lead, double digits, 15 plus for a solid amount of the game. and things just started to slow down. You lose track of the winning culture. You start playing, lazy. You start playing too comfortable with yourself after you get a lead at a certain point. But the Celenation All Stars were not comfortable with the deficit. They were not comfortable with being down, and they played their asses off. They were playing their asses off, being way more physical, way more intense towards that third and fourth quarter, and we only ended up winning the game by 4 to finalize everything. Um, but it was a great game. I think Aaron Fair gave us a lot of problems. He's an issue. I think Rick got into some foul trouble there, so we had to sit him longer than we wanted to. But great exhibition. I'll give my 2 cents on everything whenever you guys go first. I want you guys to give your take.
No, you go first this time. This is your team. I want to hear you talk about your team.
I feel like I just ranted long enough. That's why I wanted to take a break.
No.
So,
Go ahead.
all right.
Go
All
ahead.
right. Well,
I'm pulling up something real quick to make sure I have it right.
hopefully Pluto decides to rejoin us for our podcast that we do every Sunday at the same time. But we'll see if he decides to come back. But yeah, I mean, a lot happened. I mean, I enjoyed what we have. It's the semi-pro scene is so difficult because you never know what players are going to be able to show up for what days and what games. You know what I mean? So like, I'm still over here crossing my fingers that I can see the full squad that I've assembled together on the court to see exactly what we bring to the table. But I was excited to see some of the new faces show up. Players who aren't officially on the roster as well, are giving it a go on our exhibition games, like Dom. I apologize, Dom. I do not know your last name. I am so sorry. Hopefully, Pluto decides to make another appearance on our podcast. Maybe he knows. But Dom made himself a nice little appearance. If I'm not mistaken, he had 10 points. Tyler, you did the stats. Do you remember?
Yeah, he did 5 for 7.
Yeah, 10 points. Mid-range demon, that guy is right there, man. Very good scoring option, and he definitely might see himself in a good spot, depending on how the rest of the month of April goes. But I was most excited for Keyshawn Robinson. I've said this story before, so I'll say it in a shorter version. He was part of the FBA E-League's free agent list for a long time. Me, I see 6'5", and I'm obviously going to be drawn to that. I'm like, okay, interesting. Tall player. Let's see what he's all about. But I'm over here trying to be fair, you know what I mean? And then he's from Flagler County, I believe is what it's called, if I'm not mistaken, right? Flagler County, which is
right
near
above Volusia.
Exactly, which is near Volusia. So I was like, okay, this guy might have some future here on a Volusia Serpents jersey. But I was fair with it, and I gave everybody a chance. I gave everybody about a month. I was like, listen, I keep asking once a week, every time, like, yo, when can we reach out to free agents? Hinting at everybody, like, maybe you guys should look at the list. You know what I mean? But nobody did. A month later, I hit him up. He suited up for us, no hesitation. It sounded like he was waiting for somebody to hit him up forever. And as soon as I hit him up, I think he responded within 5 minutes. He's like, yes, sir, suit me up. When do I need to show up? And ever since then, he's been a very good pickup for us. Very determined player, and I love that. It's so hard to find that these days, but he's ready for anything. You know what I mean? Anything you tell him to do, anywhere you tell him to go, he's ready for it. Any assignment on the court, he's ready for it. Defensively, he's locked in. Offensively, he's getting back in shape, so he's going to continue to look better and better because he did spend some time without playing basketball consistently. But Keyshawn Robinson, he was a good highlight for us. His ability to do it on both ends was very good, and just a nice surprise factor for us because defensively he was locked in. Offensively, he was playmaking, he was on the boards, he was driving, he was shooting. Just overall, man, I liked what I saw just in general from my squad, and I'd say those are the two players that kind of stood out. I don't want to rave about every single individual player because then I'll be here forever. But Dom and Keyshawn definitely went out there and they did their thing. So shout out to them, man, for playing some good basketball, helping us come out with that win because we were close.
Bro, the way he's talking about Keyshawn is not even like statistically or how you watch the game. It's not enough. Like 19 points. Mind you, his shot was not falling throughout the entire game. 3 mid-range or anything. This is all him getting to the cup. 8 assists with that. Defensively, I normally don't think steals is a good sign of like a good defender, but he really was just ripping the ball from everybody. Like he really was just treating them like little boys at times. The way that he was stealing the ball from them, like it was insane. I want to shout out Nick though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, go ahead,
Go
Blue.
ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish it. I got my shit. I already know where we're at. We're good. We're good.
Every moment where Nick checked into that game, I feel like something had just switched off or switched on for the Serpents, and you guys were just running the right way. I guess you could say it. I don't know if he's like the leader on defense because I'm watching for the camera. I wasn't there, so I can't hear as much on the court. But like defensively, the intensity just completely changed every time he checks in. That's actually where Keyshawn got most of his steals. Them two trapping out on the perimeter. How many steals did Nick have? Nick also might have had like 6. Let's see. Okay, Nick only had 2. So I think Keyshawn was kind of the beneficiary of it. But they were trapping on the perimeter, and almost every trap they turned the ball over, whether they lost the ball out of bounds, whether it was a steal, or something. But them two, that little 2-man game that they had on defense was ridiculous. It was disgusting. It's not fair. Like at one point, somebody on Celenation turned to Ben and they're like, "Ref, do something, do something." I don't. I think maybe they were fouling. I don't know, but they were stealing the ball. I can tell you that for sure.
Ref, call something.
Do it something, please.
Yeah, I would to kind of just piggyback off what you're talking about, Nick. I think a lot of people who watched Nick grow up. I'm one of the few. I mean, other people obviously, but I'm one of those people who's seen his basketball career from like middle school till who he is now. I think one thing, and maybe Nas can attest to, is his leadership skills have grown a lot. Um, and this is no knock to Nick, and that's my guy. But Nick at first, he was a little bit. He could be volatile to a team with his emotions sometimes and his outbursts back in the day. He could be a little bit, how would I say, emotionally turbulent at
Listen,
times.
all this beating around the bush. I'm gonna tell you right here, right now, 2023. I wanted to cut Nick. That's how much.
There
That's
you
how much
go.
he pissed me
He
off.
had anger problems.
That's how much.
The first time I saw him, he had anger problems. I can tell you
Yeah.
that.
I thought Nick was gonna punch me one day just to get his frustrations out the way. Like I really like that. That's Nick has been much better overall. He definitely still spazzes out, but I'm okay with the spaz outs. I don't really care about that too much. It's the uncontrolled spazzing that really gets me my blood boiling. And he
I
was
can see it right now.
yeah, he was an uncontrolled spaz before. Now he's a much more tamed spazzing. Spazzing is good for the culture of a team, for the intensity of a team. I do believe that. So like he's controlled with his spazzing, and he knows when it's time to spaz, when it's time to chill out.
And he's spazzing now. Like instead of just spazzing and not being able to communicate, he spazzes and he's like, "Yo, we are not handling this ball right. We're not. We're turning the ball over. It's like he's a coach on the floor, and that's what he's turning into. And I'm here for it. Like Nick's not gonna. I mean, Nick can give drop 20. He can give you a couple 3-pointers, but that little intangible of being a team leader is where I feel like his development as a player has skyrocketed. He's more easier to play with. He's willing kind of like to to find the open man a little bit more, which is not, if anybody knows Nick in the beginning, that's not Nick's thing. But he's grown as a point guard. And the second that pickup, I don't know how many times someone has to tell you, look out the door, there's something out there for you, and you don't go look out the door and see what's out there. Nas gave everybody ample time to grab this guy. This guy could have been on the flight. This guy could have been on the Crocs. This guy could have been on the Lions. This guy could have been on any team. And Nas gave them time, and he picks
Hey
up a
man,
gem.
shout out to you. He just named 3 FBA Elite teams successfully without fumbling. Shout out to Pluto, man. He just remembered 3 names. That's crazy.
Navy flight, Navy Army, I got you. Or Army flight.
Listen, give us a fourth.
But regardless of the fact, this is a bona fide D1 athlete. Like this is a D1 athlete, and he everything about. I hate to say how a player looked because I'm trying to get off that, especially in these leagues. How a player looks, it doesn't really matter at this point. But he looks every part of what he was doing. And to Tyler, he's picking up 96 feet the whole game. 96 feet. I'm here. I'm first play of the game was a steal on him. Like anytime the ball was up in the air or not in the point guard's hand or being fumbled around, he had something to do with it. He was like, I can't wait to see him and Kels together because them two together on defense is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of turnovers. And I know you guys hate steals, but steals are turnovers, and turnovers are extra possessions. I don't know how you could not count steals as like a defensive play, but
No, he's
regardless,
not. The steals he's getting are the steals I
They're different.
value. Yeah, the
let's talk
steals he's
about it.
getting. Yeah, the steals you be talking about are the steals I don't value. Like all that.
He's
Oh,
getting like
yeah,
Kawhi Leonard steals. Like he's ripping
exactly.
your shit.
Yeah,
Like
like
he's not gambling. He's ripping you.
yeah.
You can't. They couldn't get the ball up the court. Like they couldn't get the ball
He
to the
got a
rim.
steal at least 3 out of the first 6 possessions of the game.
Yes. And all you hear, if you can hear on the camera a little bit, all you hear, he's got it. Damn. The whole game, I'm
Yeah.
just yelling out how many steals. It was crazy. He was
Yeah.
just moving, bro. And then I got to talk to him. He played it a lot. He played at East Coast Carolina. He played at some decent D1 basketball schools. They're not. It's not like he was playing at like some trash like D1 school. These were legitimate D1 schools that are pretty good. So just wanted to shout him out. Had a little conversation with Keyshawn.
So we're about to see him go from the serpents to the Kissimmee Lambs pipeline. We've started it once. It's gonna happen again. I can already tell.
I hope not.
Listen,
Yeah, Nas needs
guys,
that guy.
say goodbye to Keyshawn. He's gonna pull a Birdo.
Nah, the serpents of the pipeline now. News soon come. Don't worry about that. But either way, I wanted to say something about Nick though before we move on to our next topic of the day. One thing, there's nothing I love more. There's one thing that I love the most in a basketball game that I'm able to attend for the Serpents. It doesn't matter if it's one of his own teammates. It doesn't matter if it's the opponent, a fan on the side, the referee. It could even be the guy handling the clock. If he hears an individual come out the side of their neck and say that there is a guard on the other team that is playing well, Nick is going to hit them with, he's not going to score anymore. I bet you that much. And I can guarantee you, as long as it's a guard or somebody that he is physically capable of guarding, because obviously there's a size situation going on there. You know what I mean? I'm just putting it out there. As long as it is a player that he is fully capable of locking into, that player is most likely never going to see another open shot again. And there's nothing I love more, because that man, when he locks in, he locks in. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah. Yeah, because he did lock into Josiah. I think Josiah was getting hot, and out of nowhere, all you hear is Nick is no one guarding him? Is no okay. He checks himself back in the game. No respect to the coach. All respect to the coach. And he's on Josiah like he says, like white on rice. He's not going anywhere. He's not doing anything else. This is my man. This is who I'm guarding. And Josiah didn't hit another three for the rest of the game. So I can attest to what Nas was saying.
We've seen Josiah get hot. We've seen that. We've seen that in another league that we're gonna cover actually.
Yeah, he's nasty.
Yeah,
He is. He's a good player.
He gets on fire.
I was telling Tyler he's a very good role player in these leagues. Excuse me, knows how to get it done. Oh my goodness, got the hiccups. He knows how to knock down open shots. He can lock in defensively. You always want a role player that's just going to consistently go out there and produce the same role every single game. That's what you want in a role player. It doesn't matter if your role is to score 8 points a game. I want you to consistently score 8 points a game. And it reminds me a lot of a player like Luke Kennard and what he's been for the Lakers so far. As he's not out there, making 5, 6, 7 threes, but he's good for 2 and 3 threes every single game. And it doesn't matter what day of the week or of the month you look at the stat sheet, that motherfucker's gonna have 2 or 3 made threes every single game. And you love that consistency because you just know you can depend on that player to give you that production every time. And when basketball elevates and it keeps going higher levels, right, overseas, NBA, professional level, teams and coaches and analysts, they look at that stuff. They're paying attention to who are we going to put out there because who is going to consistently produce what we need to be produced. So shout out to Josiah. That's the last thing I wanted to say about those games. Now moving on to the OBL Monday and Tuesday games. We were not able to attend Tuesday. Actually, I just remembered. My apologies. We were not able to attend Tuesday.
Decided to move again. It's gonna happen again next year. I'm gonna warn you. It's happened every year. So I apologize.
Yeah, I've been a part of them twice. I'd say 1.5 or like 1 1/4. I wasn't very helpful last instance, but I tried my best.
He was there for the vibes.
Yeah, I was there for the vibes. I lifted a couple things, some cushions and some chairs. Yeah, but I was not aware. Just a side note, I want to make sure everybody's fully aware that Nas is very helpful. Last year I helped a lot. I moved everything I possibly could, And this year I was not familiar with the move going to Oviedo, and I was feeding the homeless the next day. You know what I mean? So I had to cook
Me
all the
too.
food the day before. So I had to cook everything. I had to get home to cook everything, and I cooked all night long. Like it, I did not realize making shredded chicken could take a couple hours. I was not aware of that. I'm not doing that ever again.
Actually, before we move forward to the games, let's talk about that really quick. We served over 100 or over how many people?
Yeah, it was like about 90 to 100 people, give or take.
Yeah,
Let's go.
that
Yeah.
was an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, actually,
Listen,
yeah, we'll bring that up. Actually, for the sake of a clip, we'll bring that up. Make sure the world knows that we were able to. We went to the neighborhood center in West Volusia, DeLand, Florida, and we fed the homeless, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Volusia Serpents, because the players had a game, which we literally just talked about a moment ago. The players had a game, and we couldn't really get them to show up to that, and then also go to the game a couple hours later. Although I did, just putting that out there. But either way, we fed the homeless. We showed up. We did tacos with some rice and refried beans. We had some sides or some toppings on there: lettuce, tomatoes, cheese. And it was a good time, man. Shout out to Tyler for helping me out, man. Shout out to my wife Ainsley for helping me out as well, and shout out to all the staff members for lending some helping hand as well,
yes.
because they were able to assist. Normally, I like to bring my full staff there, and we handle everything. This is our second time going, and we went and we represented the Volusia Serpents, but we're definitely going to take credit for on the Atleta side as well, because Tyler showed up and he helped out, and it was very fulfilling once again. And I've already made my commitment to go there once a month. Typically for their dinners, though, I won't be able to go for their lunches like we did last time. But we are gonna go, or I'm gonna go once a month. If the guys ever feel like they want to join again, they can always feel comfortable or feel free to do that. So, shout out to them for having us. Shout out to the staff for helping us. I think at least 3 or 4 different staff members were helping us. So shout out to them for that. Um, and then shout out to everybody who went there, man. They were all the residents of the neighborhood center, very courteous, very friendly, very thankful throughout the entire time. Like out of the 90 or 100 people, 90 or 100 people were just happy and continued to say, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for coming. And then,
Every time.
every single time, man. So shout out to those residents as well. I might try to pull some strings, see if we can put the Hoop Talk podcast on their TVs every once in a while. You know what I mean? Um, so they can hear this. You know what I mean? Because they have no clue who we are or what we do. They have no clue that we have a podcast, because we didn't really have the opportunity to sit there and just brand ourselves and advertise, because that's not what we were there for. So shout out to them, man, for being so courteous and making it such a easy experience. You know what I mean? Just overall, it was fun. It was fulfilling. And this is my second time going this year. And I hope I missed February, so I hope I can make it. 11 out of the 12 months this year. I hope I can make that happen.
Let's
Do
go.
something good. I would always recommend that. Just whenever you have an opportunity, do something good in your life. Just help somebody. Everybody will appreciate it and enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think the best part about that is not like for like like Nas says, they weren't advertising and branding. That's not for us or for yourself. It should just be something you do out of like the kindness of your heart, with no reciprocation involved at all. It's just you're out there just showing love to your community, which I love.
What you can do.
Fun times, man. Fun times. But moving on to the OPL now, we had two matchups on Monday. We were unable to attend Tuesday. But we had the NWO, ladies and gentlemen, pulling off the upset of the season so far. They were able to defeat the Alafaya Kings 69-68, ladies and gentlemen. Not the New World Order. I'm sorry, no, not New West Orlando. I apologize. It's the New World Order, as Tommy likes to call them. Different brand of the NWO, apparently. But they were able to pull off the win by 1 point. You guys were there. Let the people know, man. What was that game like?
I
Listen,
think
bro.
Rick.
Brian
Oh,
Richardson. Oh, God.
no, go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead, because yours is gonna be
Brian
funny.
Richardson, he played in the gray shirt for NWO. He is the best shooter I think I've ever seen in my life. He's better than Luke and all the people that we talk about this game. At least it felt like he was shooting from half court at different points, and he was getting into their head. Like he was doing a really good job at getting into their head, like talking shit, just kind of joking around. Especially with like Rick, especially with Angel Cruz, normally a coach. Obviously, he's playing in this league, but like he was in their head. Elijah looked very good this game as well. Um, I I'm apologize. Somebody said his name on the bench, but I don't know if it's actually his name. But I'm gonna go with it. Jorge, taller guy, dreads. He had them tied up. Man,
I hope that's his name.
that man was everywhere. I apologize if that's not his name. I apologize. His teammates said it was his name, so I hope that it is. Um, Also, the Alabama Kings, they're not going to have Tyler back. So we talked about him potentially being an MVP for the season. He's done. Someone had mentioned like a surgery or something. I don't know. I don't want to get into specifics. He lost his leg in a car accident. So he's not going to be coming back. He's not going to be coming back, and
Sorry.
we kind of have to see how things shake up. Christian Sorry started off really great. He probably also finished great as well, but I really was kind of just tapped into more on NWO. They only had one person off the bench, so like we really got to see them play the entire game, and they looked great. Other than Emmanuel struggling against Rick, I would say he even came up to us at some point. He's like, "Man, I can't do this anymore. This man, he doesn't get tired." I'm like, yeah, bro. Yeah, he's not even sweating yet. He's not doing
I
nothing.
think so. I got the privilege of seeing Rick the day before, and he was missing some dunks and stuff like that the day before. He missed a fast break dunk. He got immediately subbed out. Immediately subbed out by Coach Rob. But the next day, it must have carried over or something. Cause like, let me say this. Let me start here. I never got to see a prime Shaq play.
Oh
I'm
God.
not calling Rick Shaq. I'm not
Okay.
calling Rick Shaq. But I never got to see a prime Shaq play. But man, if he was not getting half the foul calls he really should have gotten, I would have hated basketball because Rick was getting fouled so much. Like Rick was getting jumped every time they threw to the post. Everybody turned around and threw their best shot at Rick. I
They all
felt
took
bad
shots.
for him, bro.
We even took an opportunity to punch him one time.
He checked in and be like, "Hold on, Rick."
just
But
getting you ready for what you're about to deal with.
This is a warm up.
but like it was I think I think this game goes differently if it's called differently. 100%. Uh but at the end of the day, man, like you said, Brian Richardson was lighting the boys up. And it started from like you could feel his aura from like the beginning, like old white middle-aged man, still kind of stocky, got the K Swisses on. They look like K Swisses, and he's just lighting it up, bro. And it's so funny because everybody's like, he can shoot, but we're gonna play a zone.
Yeah, he
He
broke
can
that
shoot,
zone.
but we're gonna
He
keep
broke
playing
it.
the zone. I look at coach. You gotta play man, brother. Like he can shoot, man. And you're in the zone. Just
Yeah,
because, and on top of that, they went from 2-3 to 3-2, and then they start lining them up in the corner, and I'm like, Coach, it's not working. You can't have Rick in a zone at a 3-2, and his job is to cover baseline to baseline. Like I love Rick to death, but baseline to baseline for Rick is insane. Like it's insane. It's just not fair, and
Yeah,
that's what happened. It just really
his knees
go
aren't
ahead.
built like that.
I mean, he had a dunk, it rims out. He was having it like he was just not having his that was probably his worst 48 hours of his life, those two games. But at the end of the day, man, NWO got it done, bro. They got it done. And Roberts put his body on the line. Literally, he was putting his body on the line. Because I think Rick also got a couple offensive fouls, which kind of brought his aggression back. And I feel bad for players like Rick. Because like if it's a short king and he's posting up and being that strong and physical, he's not getting that call called on him. But since it's Rick and you see a big ass elbow swinging, you just automatically think, oh, that's a madman. Offensive foul. Like, I don't like how Rick is called. And that's what I was going to say with the whole Shaq thing. I just feel like sometimes when the player's bigger, you ref them different. And I don't feel like that's fair. I don't feel like that's fair. But yeah,
But I
I
mean, you
digress.
also alter their shot differently. So fouls for the most part on shots are called specifically because you're impeding their shot, you're impeding movement or something. How can you really impede Rick's movement? Like he's fucking big as hell. Like
But he
that's a
also
man.
can't make a move to make space because now he's getting called a foul or a
That's the thing.
charge.
That's what sucks about being that size realistically, and that's why you see a lot of like, these big men in the NBA. They're working on being like more fluid, more elegant in their movement because they any sort of exaggerated movement they're gonna get called because they're bigger.
Sucks.
It's
Yeah,
just a
it
reality.
sucks. It
Yeah.
sucks.
But Rick, let's not pretend though that Rick didn't have a great game. Rick had
Yeah, he did have a good game. On top of everything,
this
Rick had a
this is
great game.
about 48 hours where he's getting beat the fuck up out there. But performance wise though, he was beating the fuck up. You see that?
Yeah.
Run the
Golly.
table.
All
Run the
right.
turntables.
All right, that's enough. Moving on to the next game. Tyler's gonna go on his rant of random little jokes. We gotta stop it now. We gotta cut it out now. All right, but
Happy
yeah.
Easter, everybody, by the way.
Next game though, the Guardians were able to beat the Crusaders 66-60. Any interesting stuff happened in that one?
Off topic. This is off topic, but you'll see it if you go and watch the playback, and I suggest you can. Drew caught a body in the background of this. By the
Yeah,
way.
he did. He caught it off bird.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Like in the other court, you mean? That he was playing?
Yeah, you can just
Right
see everybody
behind.
going crazy in the background.
Oh man. Oh man, give me the timestamp. I want to see.
I'll find the
Yeah.
timestamp. It's sometime in the third quarter. We had Tea Time join us for this game, and I apologize. I had set up the mics wrong, so they were right next to each other, so you can't hear us very well. You hear a lot of echo. But shout out Tea Time for joining me. This was a great game. We were kind of going back and forth on a few things here. Man, the Crusaders, they could kind of chuck, like they kind of be chucking out a lot of
I ain't gonna lie.
shots.
I'm gonna double down. He's being nice. The Crusaders are foul kings, bro. Number 33, the Kevin Martin, the Puerto Rican Kevin Martin. Bro, he was out here every time he made the shot, which wasn't a lot. He'd grab a rebound and give it to the other team, and the refs never called a tech on that. Like never. And he's like scoring and giving the ball back or throwing it out of bounds. And in my head, I'm like, yo, this is a wild man. Like he's going around fouling people like elbow.
Yeah, he gave someone an elbow from the top rope. He jumped off the rim at one point to elbow somebody.
That's when Swanton bombed into someone.
Yeah. Hit the frog splash on an innocent child.
That
God.
man is a menace, bro. He's a menace. But like all jokes set aside, the Crusaders did have a good fight, and I like that team. They're very scrappy. Just a scrappy team, and I was talking shit to him the whole game, but I dapped him up because at the end of the day, like some people like just give up. You know, some people don't fight, and they just allow themselves to get messed up. And
Throwing some haymakers.
he's gonna fight. He gonna fight. That's one thing about him. He gonna fight.
He had that
Yeah.
left, he had that right on a few people. I'm not gonna lie.
That was Tyler's guy at first. I remember Tyler pointed him out. Tyler was like, I like him. He's got an interesting game. Yeah, he fights. He's the Punisher of basketball.
Tea Time, hey, listen, Tea Time sided with me though. Oh, I just went because I got the game up. Do you remember? Do you remember when the ref in the first game got knocked down and he from his back he like flipped up?
Yeah.
Why did he do that? That was so extra. Listen, 33 minutes or 34 minutes of this video, go watch. ISO John is gonna get knocked over and he flips up for some reason. I don't know why.
He's about to ult. That's what happened.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that was. But this game was great though. Man, I'm trying to think of specifically what I want to say. Tay looked great at the beginning, but they kind of stopped giving him the ball at some
That's
point.
Tay's life, though. That's Tay's life. I feel bad for Tay. That is literally Tay's
What team is
life.
Tay on?
Like, you guys,
The Guardians.
Oh.
yeah. Like Tay,
Yeah.
every team he plays on, he starts off very hot, and then it's like the team forgets that he's a good player, and then let's not involve him anymore. He's not useful. I'm like, bro, like he did it for the Oxleague, dropped like 25 his first game, and then after that, they like put him on the bench and got another point guard. And in my head, I'm like, Tay just dropped 25 last week.
It's like, what the hell? Tea Time had told us somebody's name, Zay, He plays for Elite Guardians. He had the black tank on. He was looking great. He actually looked great the first time that we saw him play the Alpha Kings, but unfortunately, it's the Kings. So
With
you
Tyler,
know,
with Tyler, Kings with Tyler.
even without Tyler, I still think the Kings are great. I think no matter what, they're going to be great. But
It's off
man,
the rep though.
yeah, he's looked great every time I've seen him play. He reminds me a lot of James. Like this man is always on the floor. He's always getting fouled. He's getting knocked over all the time. James, I should have talked about that actually. James spent most of the game against Celenation on the floor. I've never seen someone get clotheslined so often and not get called. He's getting bullied out there. But that's all I got.
All right. Well, here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you all catch those games. But if you want to, you're going to have to join the Atleta Club. It's some good basketball being played over there at the OBL. And just for being a member of the Atleta Club, you do get a chance to win our giveaways throughout the year. Obviously, you have to be a member during that giveaway. But we are giving away a free Molten BG 5000, FIBA approved. It is the official basketball of the Olympics as well. So, the best players in the world are hooping with that ball. Even though once every 4 years, they're still doing it. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all tap in with us, the Atleta Club. And if you don't want to join the Atleta Club, man, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, all that good stuff. But moving on to our last topic of the day, the Oxleague, which happened just a couple nights ago on Friday. 2 games of Oxleague action. Final game of the regular season for everybody. And playoffs are going to be this week on Friday. So we have the Stampede taking on the Warriors, and they were able to come out with that win, 83-79. Remind us, Tyler, how'd that game go?
So Warriors started off top pretty hot, I would say. They got off to a pretty good lead in that first quarter, but after that, some changes were made. Trey checked back in the game, and I really do think that game just kind of completely switched. That's not to say though that the Warriors were not leading for a lot of that first half still. They were. They were still up for majority of that, even going into the third. But the game kind of changed. You could see that they started being rushed in a lot of their movements. They started turning over the ball a lot more, taking some really, really questionable shots. Number 7, we talk about him a lot, kind of big body, great roller. He gets injured, and I feel like things really just kind of opened up right there from the Stampede at that point. Reese checks back in, and he gets a nasty stop at some point, and from that moment on, it's like 35-34, somewhere around there. They just go on a run, and they just completely take over the game, especially towards the end of that game. It just felt completely different. Some arguments here and there, some disagreements with each other. Number one, we see him a lot in the OBL as well. I'm getting kind of annoyed that people were moving off ball, and I agree. Like that is an issue that the Stampede have a lot, is they do get stagnant. They don't make any movements. They don't cut. Nobody looks to reposition. No off-ball screens or anything. But it still worked at the end of the day. And really, all you really want is a win, and they got it.
Yeah, I'd argue this was probably the most exciting week of Oxleague basketball this season. I think both games were extremely intense and competitive, especially when it mattered most in that fourth quarter. And this was the first taste of it that we got. The Stampede, they went on just a hype train of a run where their momentum just carried them for the rest of that game. The intensity just got better, the physicality got better. Defensively, they were locked in, communicating, yelling. Offensively, you talk about and one after and one, and like you said, Trey came into that game for the Stampede. He just started hooping. Jordan Hernandez. I think this game went to overtime, if I'm not mistaken.
I
Yeah,
was about to say,
yeah,
it was
Jordan.
the 5 minutes. That's all Jordan Hernandez needs.
Yeah, that's Jordan Hernandez. The 5 minute man. That's what we're gonna call him from now on, and that's all you play in overtime is 5 minutes. So that man will probably hit them with I think 2 threes. Hit him with a crazy step back at 1.3.
Oh,
Man, he started going crazy. Man, that man started cooking them, and Stampede just never looked back from there. I think him and Trey really carried a large load there, but overall, defensively as a team, they did a really good job. Their point guard, light skinned dude with the braids, very composed player. Definitely tries to keep his team, how can I say, well composed. Yeah, he's a composed player himself.
poised.
Poised. He tries to keep his team, playing relaxed. And I think it really helped him. But Trey, I'd say, was probably the player of the game. Once he came in, he stayed in for a long time. And we were wondering, and if anybody on the Stampede watches the podcast, which I hope you do, let us know in the comment section. Why are players like Jordan Hernandez and Trey? I'm sorry, I don't know his last name, but Trey. Why are they coming off the bench to start a game? Like, I mean, they're very capable and skilled players, quite debatably. You could say the best players on the team. I'd argue from a talent perspective. So
Trey
there's
might be one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, he might be. So like, there's no real reason to bring them off the bench, but I'm sure they have their reasons. I'm sure there's logic behind it. So I'm not here to question anybody's decision making, but I'm just here to question their decision making, really, because I don't really understand. I don't
I don't want
really
to question
understand.
it, but why the fuck?
No, no, that's exactly how I feel though. Like, why the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, why? What are you doing? But I mean, at the end of the day, it worked out for them. So shout out to the Stampede. Like I said, it was the first of two exciting games, and I think Trey was definitely the biggest catalyst of that. He hit an and one fast break at one point, where I wasn't even sure he put the ball up on purpose, and it still just went in. And that's the type of night that he was having. And then Jordan just kind of took over in that overtime. The 5 minute man made the most of those 5 minutes, and the Stampede came out with the win. They won by 4. High scoring game as well for a running clock. What is it, 12-minute
Overtime,
quarters?
though, if you think about it, it
Oh,
went to
true,
overtime
true.
at 66-66.
True. I forgot. Yeah, overtime. That's true. That's a big factor as well. Um,
This could not have been a better game, though, because they just got the new jerseys as well. And I do actually
Facts.
like them.
I do. I
Like,
do.
this is perfect time for this.
Yeah, I do too. I like them a lot. And this was the only game that Pluto was able to attend. He had to leave for the second game, and it looks like this is also the only topic that he is not able to attend because he decided
He had to
to
leave again.
leave once again. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna wonder, if Pluto watches the podcast, because if he does, he's gonna give us a text message. Pluto, if you hear this portion right here, send us a text the moment you hear it, and that's how I'm gonna know if you watch the podcast. We're giving you a week. We'll
With these numbers, 77-83.
77-83. The score was 79-83, if that's what you were going for. But yeah, whatever.
Right now, at the exact time I'm watching, it's 77.
Oh, okay. Um, but yeah, last game and last topic of the day: the Ducks versus the Lions. Yet another exciting game. This one did not go to overtime, right?
No,
It didn't. Yeah,
it felt like it was going to, though.
yeah.
It did feel like it was going to.
It did, but I'm sorry. Is it Jalen? Jalen Escontrias? Yep. Jalen Escontrias had something different to say. He probably also felt like it was gonna go to overtime. He's like, "Fuck that! I want to go home." And let me tell you, he made sure of that because Jalen Escontrias, crazy enough, Tyler was the one that told me, so I'm gonna give him an opportunity to explain it better. But I'm gonna just explain it from my perspective because my perspective is my phone. I was just looking at my phone trying to figure something out. I forget what it was. I was trying to do something on my phone. I think I was trying to fix something, and I kid you not, I had to be on my phone for like at best 60 seconds at best. I look up, Tyler tells me he just hit 3 threes back to back to back. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? I've only been looking down for 60 seconds.
4. When I said that, he hit another one.
My goodness, man. But yeah, he wanted to go home. He sensed overtime was about to happen. He's like, no, I need to go home. I'm tired. It's late. Let's finish this up right here, right now. Unfortunately, the Lions, however, had different plans. They did not want to go home, so they kept fouling, even though they were down a substantial amount. That's why the score ended up being 68-63. Realistically speaking, you could argue the Ducks really should have just won by double digits if the Lions just understood that there's no more need to foul. You know what I mean? Like, it's over. We can move on from this. But Tyler, you tell the people about Jalen's performance, man, because somehow I blinked and I missed it.
So, mind you, we had made a joking comment that like he lost his powers week 1 because the last 2 weeks he hasn't been performing the same way he has the first time. Like he went nuclear the first week, and I don't think it's realistic to maintain that. So he kind of came back down to earth the last 2 games. Had one kind of questionable game, one pretty good game, I would say. This game he starts off the same way that he had been starting off. His shots not falling. Defensively, he's making a couple blunders here and there. He's gambling a little bit too much. The fourth quarter comes around, and he's like, all right, and that's it. He just turns some shit on. He drinks some fucking magical juice or something, and he doesn't miss any more shots. He's back playing this ridiculous defense. He gets a nice block as well that I don't know if we got a highlight of. I don't know if we got it because we were kind of trying to figure some things out. But he gets a nice stop in that fourth quarter, And I'm talking like 3 or 4 possessions later, his shot just starts falling. Like he got like a badge turned on or something in 2K because he got to stop. I don't know what it was, but he was nasty. It was disgusting. And this is a game where Lamar wasn't really scoring as much. He was a little bit more quiet as well. He still did have a good game, I would say, but this is not the typical game that we saw from the brothers so far. But he picked up the slack absolutely. Like Jalen was nasty on that Duck squad as well. It wasn't even just them. Number 7 as well. We were talking about. He had a nasty move as well. Unfortunately, a shot doesn't fall. He gets fouled. But he was a very big catalyst for their win. I think number 7, and I wish I had his name. I apologize that I don't. On the Lion squad, Damon was looking lights out. Damon was getting everything again. Number 11, Damon was untouchable for majority of that fight. Whether it was getting to the cup, he was breaking everybody down. He got past anybody. Nobody that they put on Damon was stopping him. Not a single person slowed him down, I think.
Their other guard was
that
nice
man is
too.
disgusting.
Their other guard was nice too. I don't know if you know his name. The light skinned kid.
Oh, I want to get his name. Yeah, he was amazing actually.
Yeah, he was nice. Y'all make sure y'all go watch the game just so you know what we're talking about. These games are up for the public, so make sure y'all go tap in for those. But yeah, they have another guard as well. He very shifty, very good player. There was one play where he had some nice ass moves, man, and he passed out of it. And we're literally everybody's thinking the same thing. I'm like, bro, you're gonna do all that? You gotta go up with it now. Like, what do you mean? Like, you done wasted every. No facts. Everybody in the whole gym was thinking the same thing. It's like you done did 5 moves. You gotta go up with it now. There's no passing it now. You're too deep into this now. Like you've committed. Now you gotta deliver. Like, what do you mean? But he had nice. It was such a nice. I can't even. It was so much. I can't even repeat what the move was. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't even fathom the idea of what he was pulling off. But he decided to end up. But all I know is I remember saying like a little lefty underhook would have been perfect finish right there. You know what I mean? Like if he went under the body, bro, with a little lefty underhook, I think that would have been a perfect finish right there to cap it off.
Without a doubt. Without it, I wish he went up for it because that would have been a clip. Because
No,
whoever he
facts.
passed it to missed it. And that's what's upsetting.
We also found out he has a very a really particular skill, which is sitting down. Apparently.
He jumped so high, he got up so long, and he just sat on someone's back.
That was crazy.
He got the rebound.
We did clip that. He did get the rebound. That was the craziest over the back I've ever seen in my life because he was legitimately over that man's back. He was on that man's back. That was crazy. Not called. Mind you, a couple literally 2 or 3 seconds later, his team takes another shot. He once again skies for the rebound. And we're like, is he about to sit on somebody's back again? Like, what the fuck is going on? But that's really what, that's really what drove me to see that, he's a really good player. The intensity that he plays with, going after those boards like that. We're talking about 2 phenomenal offensive boards back to back. Like, we're talking about sky for them over the trees. That hustle was phenomenal. He was very shifty. I apologize. I don't know his name, but, go watch that game.
Quentin Flemisser.
Quentin Flemisser, there you go. That's what it is. Quentin Flemisser, man. Y'all make sure y'all go tap in for that game. Those games are up for the public. They're not on our members-only side of things. So hit that subscribe button at least and go watch that because those 2 guys at the guard position were very dangerous. The Lions just could not put it together there at the end. The Ducks just went on one hell of a run. Like I said earlier, it was, to me, the most exciting week of this season's Oxleague. Because both games were just tremendous. Both teams that won made a comeback win. The benches were hyped. The crowd was excited. Just overall, this is exactly what, if you want to see what the Oxleague is all about, this is the week to start with. Watch this week right here, and you're going to want to watch these players again, and you're going to want to watch all these other weeks. And then you're going to want to tune in for the Friday's playoffs as well, because these games were exciting, and the Oxleague is definitely putting together something good for Central Florida basketball.
Every season they have, I think, and every season it improves. And I love, this feels like the closest every team is to winning. Like I could really see any of these teams kind of pull it out at this point.
I agree.
I can't say that for some years.
Yeah, I agree 100%. They always have a favorite every year. They do not this year. So make sure y'all tap into those games, man. Every single week of the Oxleague is on our channel. So y'all tap in and y'all let us know in the comment section. Come back to the podcast episode. Let us know in the comment section after you were able to review these teams and watch these players. Who do you think is actually the favorite for the Oxleague Championship, man? But I mean, that's all we got. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we want y'all to join the Atleta Club, not just to support us, but because we want to give back to the community. We've given away a Wilson Evolution basketball. We've given away 2 tickets to Aquatica. We're going to be giving away a ticket to Volcano Bay. We're going to be giving away 2K27. We're going to be giving away so many things throughout the year, man. And this is all through the little minimal funding that we've been able to put together. You know what I'm saying? This is for us to show y'all it's for the community. It's not about us. We're not here to build a corporation that's going to take over the world and monopolize local basketball. We're here to make something that's for the people. And the more we grow, who knows, man, we might be able to get into a space where we can do 2 giveaways a month. You know what I mean? We might be able to get into a space where, bro, like maybe next year,
fly you out.
you know what I would love, and I'm gonna tell the guys for the first time. This is the first time they're hearing this, bro. But 2-3 years from now, bro, one of our giveaways, bro, I would love it to be a fucking paid trip to an overseas camp. You know what I'm saying? Like I would love to do that. Let's say 3 years from now, after we grow and we expand to bigger heights, bro, and we have the ability to do that. Imagine we give away a camp to a fucking, European basketball league camp or something, tryouts to the next Chinese team. You know what I mean? Like something like that would be dope. And we can't do it unless we grow, and we need your support to be able to grow. That's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? So join the Atleta Club. Get these little giveaways here and there, which I don't consider them little at all. We're giving away some pretty nice stuff. But
yeah, I'm about to say quality trips, basketballs.
Y'all about to get 2K for free. We're
No,
gonna
facts.
pre-order it months before it comes out.
Facts. And I'm gonna talk.
2K, you get 100,000 VC once you buy the premium one too. So,
Yeah. I'm gonna talk to the guys about it too. I would love to do a 2K tournament this time around because I always skip 1 year of 2K because I don't like to fall for the trap. I always skip 1 year of 2K and then get the next one. So I'm gonna be back on 2K again for 2K27, and I would love to revisit the idea.
Listen, we've already discussed this. Fuck that. We're playing Madden.
We can do both. What do you mean? We can do both. I am down for Madden though, but let us know, man. Hit us up with your gamer tags if you're on Madden because we're gonna get into Madden. I am willing to commit to that if Tyler's serious. But let's not, digress too much, man. We're trying to wrap up the podcast. Join the Atleta Club for some free giveaways. We appreciate y'all for showing love, man. That's the end of the Hooptalk podcast. Pluto, we appreciate you for finally joining us. Everybody, we're out of here. Deuces.
Hey, shout out Pluto's chair.